before we start. It's a home dedication. And you may even use it for your home this morning. If you think about wherever it is that you're sitting, wherever you are this morning, would you hold these words in your thoughts and allow the love and the light to flow out into your surroundings, into the walls, the furnishings, everything in your home for which you are most grateful. We dedicate this home to love and understanding. May its joys be many, sorrows be few, and may your dreams find refuge under its roof. We light a candle for love. We dedicate this home to fun, laughter, and play. May your relationships prosper and your love flourish. By the way, those that just joined, I'm reading a house dedication and blessing that I'm doing for my own home. I did it recently for someone else. So use these words to bless your home and your surroundings. We light a candle to joy. We dedicate this home to community life. May its doors be open, always, in fellowship, and its windows let the light in of God. We light a candle to friendship. We dedicate this home to cooperation. May a helping hand be always close by, whether it is mine or that of another. We light a candle to spiritual enlightenment. We dedicate this home to growth and learning as spirit with God's ever-loving help. May the voice of the God of your heart speak gently in your soul. We light a candle to appreciation. We dedicate this home to beauty of the world around us. May the love expressed here today be like a pebble in a pond, which echoes, spreading outward to the community and beyond. I'd like us to think about that a moment more, if you would. The light that we have, the love that it gets expressed through us, goes out into the world like a pebble tossed into a pond. It echoes, spreading outward to the community and beyond. And especially during these times, may we remember that as we see so much chaos in the world, let us remember that our love and light go out, spreading outward to the community. I see Matt told me that my piano playing was beautiful. Was that you that was listening, Matt? I knew someone was. I'm going to practice a little more. I'll play better next week. And I'll play something real and meaningful. Let us light a candle to harmony. We dedicate this home to truth and wisdom. May we learn something new and interesting every day in our home. I love that. And may we light a candle to unity and dedicate this home as a place where family is valued and appreciated. May we always, always find comfort in its rooms and hear laughter within its walls. And if we're the lucky ones this morning, and I think we are, Lynn, Dakota, Susan, Matt, and others that have joined us, we are the lucky ones because we do have a home, we have a shelter, we do have a place to be. We have prosperity. We have tremendous prosperity. Let us express tremendous gratitude for that, for this place to be on the sacred earth and all the abundance that has come our way. So as we take a deep breath this morning and breathe in love and light, may we, like a pebble thrown into the pond, send out ripples of love and light and peace and harmony and comfort, healness and wholeness in the world. All of it we send now. We send it with our hearts. We transform the world from a place of chaos to one of peace. So we bring this time of silence, this time of quiet, to a close this morning as we prepare to open the service. Envisioning each and every one of us sitting in a circle again, which we will do before long. We'll be able to do that in person. In the meantime, let's send our love to each other and out into the world. Those ripples of love and light. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Okay, good morning. Good morning. I'm seeing some notes from people. Christy is able to join us, but can everyone hear me? I think you can. Matt said he heard me playing the piano, so apparently you are able to hear me this morning. We are not in Gulfport this morning at the sanctuary, as you can see. Thank you. I got a thumbs up. The reason is we decided with COVID. Thank you, Dakota. He said I sound lovely. I'm so glad you're out there, Dakota. It makes my heart warm to know you're there. Okay, good, great. Janet, Susan. Okay. Today is Sunday, January 10th, 2021. I'm going to read the daily word for today. The daily word is prosperity. I claim prosperity now. When I feel tempted to wish for a more prosperous life, I remember my prosperity begins at the level of my thinking. I focus my thoughts on the many blessings already in my life, and I feel grateful. From this place of gratitude, it becomes easy to notice more and more blessings all around me. This awareness helps me develop an attitude of prosperity. I tend to my thoughts of prosperity. Now listen to this just a moment, if you would. This is important. Let's do this. I tend to my thoughts of prosperity as though they are flowers in a garden. Envision this. I plant them in good soil and nurture them with water and sunshine. This rich environment allows prospering ideas to take root and to grow. As I nurture these ideas, I am abundantly blessed in life, love, health, and joy. And from Psalm 36:8, they feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. Isn't that beautiful? The daily word for today is prosperity. I claim my prosperity now. Now, for those of you that aren't on Facebook regularly, and that's where we seem to get caught up most on social media, just because it's the easiest and it's where most of us are. We use the Unity Facebook page, the group page that Matt set up for us, Spiritual Center of Gulfport. We go there and we share. It's a group. We share. And so for many of you, I told you that we would not be in the church, maybe for a few weeks. The board met this week and decided that we maybe ought to, with the rising numbers of COVID, take a little time off, really clean up the facilities, regroup, reset. It made me think that sometimes it's good to reset. Someone mentioned last week that what can happen is when we get together in groups of 20, 25 or whatever, something can become normalized. For instance, a behavior that's not great, that we're taking off our mask in a room of 20 people where we've seen them every Sunday, so we're thinking it's all safe. Well, the truth is, we're not living in fear, but we do know that each one of us has a different circle of friends that we're with, and we assume that they're safe too. And so when we come together, we're bringing wherever we've been that week, and with whomever we've been with, and whomever they were with too, back with us. So we want to be responsible. We don't want to normalize bad behavior either. And so we thought maybe a reset was a good thing. One of the things I thought about this week is a reset is always good. I had struggled last week with my printer here at home. It's where I do most of the printing. And it had 2 or 3 problems. It was not pulling the paper in. When it was printing something, it was all smeared. And so I just kept dealing with each of the individual problems until I finally thought, we even talked, Dan and I even talked about buying a new printer. And we're not talking about a simple little one either. We've got a pretty fancy professional printer here. And so I finally had the bright idea, right, to shut it down and let's just see what the problems are. Well, guess what? After I turned it back on, turned my computer back on, every problem went away. So sometimes it's good in our personal lives and everything that we do to hit that reset button and just rethink how we might redo things. Just as we read with the daily word here just a few moments ago with our thoughts. We tend to our thoughts as though they are flowers in a garden. This morning, I'm going to talk a little further about faith, fear, caution, reality, and a balanced mindset. Now, you may think that's a few too many things to try to tackle in one 15-minute talk. It probably is, but I'm going to address each and every one of them. And I already have in a simple way. So let's address reality first. We just did for a bit. Eleanor Roosevelt, wife of our 32nd president, Frank Delano Roosevelt, famously said, "A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong it is until it's in hot water." Mrs. Roosevelt was cleverly, as we know, just stating that it's when we're in hot water, we're in times of chaos, things aren't going perfectly, that our true nature shows through. We've certainly had plenty of times to exercise that lately, haven't we? And it's not easy. So today's hot water, of course, has been that invisible virus, which has sickened and taken people's lives. At this time, I believe there are more than 375,000 Americans who've died from the virus, from COVID-19. And this is in spite of the quarantining that has taken place and the social distancing and everything else. This is in spite of that. So what I want to recommend today, though, since we're talking about faith, caution, fear, and reality, is that we maintain a balanced mindset. How do we do that? Sometimes we feel like we're walking a tightrope, don't we? I certainly do. I just have to tell you the truth. I have felt like I've been on a tightrope as I've been trying to balance myself between holding my faith. And my faith is this log that I'm walking across, or this tightrope. That's my faith. It's certainly wide enough for me, and I certainly am able to balance on it. But not if I lean too far one way or the other. You see what I mean? In just saying, oh, this reality doesn't exist, that's not using my common sense. Of course, this reality exists. I see it. I know people that have died from this. So I do know that I ought to have caution. But I don't want to lean too far the other way either into fear, because I know fear is not a good place to be. Caution has a place in our lives. Fear doesn't. Oh, for the rare moment, fear does, because we certainly don't want to be run over by a car, do we? And if you're scurrying across the street and a car comes around the corner that you didn't see and you're about to be run over, fear is your certainly the best thing that can happen to you, because the adrenaline's going to pump and you're going to move and you're going to get out of the way. So that is what fear is for. And but not all the time. You know what's going to happen to your body if you're staying in fear all the time? You're going to develop some sort of disease. What sort of disease? Well, it may be emotional, but very likely it may be physical, and you may not see it now, but it may be in a few years. I remember Dr. Colbert said several years ago, and we've talked about him, How to Heal Your Life, and or Deadly Disease, I believe was the title. He said that what he would see in his office would be people that would come in with cancer, and he would ask them what they had been doing 7 years before. And typically, they had been through some sort of a trauma. And so I'm just inviting you right now, If your faith has not informed you enough yet to simply use your caution and not your fear, I am imploring you to fall back upon your faith, fall back upon those things that we teach, and leave the fear behind. There's another sort of trauma that shows up as fear too, and that's the trauma that we carry around with us that may have come, it's triggered right now. It's a trauma that we had as a younger person, maybe as a child. And our fear, our emotional dis-ease is being triggered right now by a lot of things going on in the world. We don't want to pay for that later. So I just implore you right now, if you have some trauma that you underwent from your childhood, address that. Put your arms around that child, love her or him. Give them what they need. If it's emotional support, give that. So there are all those traumas that we may even be creating now, or that we've brought forward with us from our childhood or prior lives. Let's do what we can to let those fears go. Now, you may wonder why I'm talking about that when I'm talking about our current circumstances. Well, it's fear that you see everywhere. That's what's behind all this chaos. Every single thing that you're seeing right now is fear. Somebody's ego of not being enough, not being smart enough. Maybe they're not the best anymore. Maybe, just maybe, we're seeing something that's triggering us, and it's triggering an old memory. You know, maybe my father lost his job when I was 12 years old, and it scared me so badly. And I still have so much emotional pain from it, that I react to it when anything happens that looks like it's going to yank the rug out from under me. That many decades later, you know that can happen, right? So a lot of the things we're seeing being played out in the world right now is fear. Fear, oh, they're going to take all our guns away and we won't have any control. I beg of you, I plead with you, I implore you, use your faith, use your good sense. Use the wisdom that God gave you to know it's all going to be okay. Not only is there a lot of human will running around, there's also a lot of divine will that is coming into play. And the more we pray for that, the more we will see it in our own lives. So I want to recommend caution instead of fear. And then just say one thing about being careless and what can happen. I hope you're not one of those people that thinks, well, I'll just be careless because I'm not going to get COVID. I know I'm not, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. What if you're out and you get the virus and you have to go for medical care? You're taking valuable resources that someone else could have used. What if you need to go into the hospital and that hospital just gave you the last bed and someone else shows up that had a heart attack? Do you have any responsibility there if you were careless? If you didn't take responsibility for your actions? So I just want to put that out there too. If we're talking about caution, reality, and fear, let us let the fear go. And the other thing is, we don't really want to determine our own exit point from this life, do we? That's not up to us. And we want to make sure that we're not being careless and that we exit this life and don't complete all of the things we were meant to do when we came here. I sort of feel like we have lives that we're supposed to live, that we planned when we come, when we embody, our soul embodies certain people we should run into and certain things that we're supposed to accomplish on this earth. Now, if we're reckless and we leave our bodies, then we may have not met all the people we should have or could have. And there's no sin in that. We're not going to be punished for it. But that's one of the reasons I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful with your life. It matters. And then I've spoken about the responsibility for others too. So living a fearless life doesn't mean living a life in which caution is never exercised. We know that. But caution and fear are not the same thing. I seldom feel intense fear. It just doesn't happen for me anymore. But I do use caution when I'm walking down the street. But caution's not fear. Caution is simply the announcement of a clear choice to avoid outcomes that we do not want and do not represent who we are and who we choose to be. What is it we say every Sunday? I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I have faith. I have faith. What does that mean? Does that mean I leave the sanctuary and go out and don't remember that for 5 minutes? Sometimes I've wondered the last year, where's your faith? Let's exercise our faith and our caution. So if you're living in fear, remember, it will harm you. It will harm your body. It will give you negative emotions and outcomes that you do not desire. Our unity principles teach us to rely not upon fear, but on our faith. We're not ignoring reality, but working with it in a positive, life-affirming way. We're staying balanced, turning within for our support. We have a universe of love and light coming our way. All that is required of us is to open and receive it. So after my quiet time this morning, and yes, I get up extremely early. You're going to say probably in the middle of the night. Yes, a lot of times it's okay though. I get enough rest. So after my quiet time this morning, I posted on social media, what you focus on is what you receive. Therefore, focus on something good. This is what we teach at Unity. Keep your thoughts and actions positive. Now, some traditions call it karma. Some traditions say whatever goes around comes around. Well, do bad and it comes to you 10 times more powerfully. Do good and it will come back to you 100 times the better. Isn't that wonderful? I like that saying. Some believe what Jesus said and they follow it. A good man brings forth good things. And the book of Proverbs states that whoever digs a pit will fall into it. So from every faith tradition that we know of, there's the same truth that we teach at Unity every Sunday. And that is that your thoughts matter. What you believe matters. What you put out into the world, it matters. It's going to come back to you. So please, please, make it something good. I love each and every one of you. I thank you so much for being with us this morning. We will record this and we will place it on the Facebook group page. We will also send it out in an email. And if you have any requests for me, please get in touch with me anytime that you choose. I am here. I will be at the church to meet you anytime you would like or to talk with you. You just let me know. We're not going to do this forever. We're just going to clean up a little bit. We're going to respect everyone's health and well-being. All of those that choose to come to Unity of Gulfport. We want it to be virus-free. And that's the way it's going to be. So we'll get back together there for those of you that like to come and join us there. And I know for certain you want us to get the musicians back in there so you can hear them on Sunday morning for those of you that are online too. So I ask you this morning, will you stay faithful to all that we say on Sunday? God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I thank you for being here with me this morning. And as Roger would say, namaste. Thank you for your time.